Okay, good morning, sports fans. So, I've had some questions recently about some of the modifications or how I designed the coffee roaster since I did the original video, and I was going to upload some photos, and apparently I can't do that in the YouTube reply section. So I thought I'd just shoot a new video of the coffee roaster since I made it, put it together, and show you guys some of the updates I've made. Few things to explain some of this strange paraphernalia. The first question I had was the bail, and what design of bail did I use? So this was the original bail that came with the Victorio popcorn popper, and what I did is I fashioned one. What I noticed is that it would, as it was spinning, it would not really capture the beans around the edge of the pot. So I fashioned one out of a coat hanger, and I put these little curves on it, and that matches the inside radius. I don't know if you can see that, but it matches the inside radius of the pot, so it grabs the beans more effectively as it's spinning around. The other thing that I noticed, and this was just a recent revelation, after I've probably done maybe, I don't know, 70 or 80 pounds in the last year and a half in this roaster. So I've made enough bad batches to figure out what I need to be doing differently. But something that happened recently was, so on the motor for this thing, I had to resolder it, and I wasn't paying attention, and I actually switched the leads, and it changed the direction of the way the motor runs, just because of the change in polarity. And what I noticed is I wasn't burning coffee as much. And so I kind of retraced my steps. Well, the way that I had wired it before is the bail was spinning this way, okay? And if you would imagine, actually, no, it was the opposite. Originally, the bail was spinning this way, so it would push the beans towards the middle, and the beans would get kind of caught under the bail and stuck, and then they would burn. So it was kind of an uneven roast. Well, when I resoldered the leads and put the motor in, or plugged it in, it started spinning this way, which would kind of push the beans to the outside of the pot. And I noticed right away that I was getting a much more even roast. It took a little longer, which is fine for me. Once I hit first crack, I would slow it down anyway, to kind of, just minimize that heat profile rise between first and second crack. Anyways, that was kind of the by accident revelation there. The other thing, this goofy little contraption, and I'll show how this gets hooked up, but this is my venting system. So I've got a hood on my stovetop that, as you can see, it's a large horizontal gap there. And I've got this goofy little cardboard piece that I came up with to kind of block most of it, and I've marked it so my wife won't throw it away. And then this kind of fits in here like this, and so that's how I had it set up originally. But I was still, it was evacuating probably 70% of the smoke, but especially when I'd open it up, and so I checked temperature not only with the thermometer on the top there, but I also check it with this little IR thermometer. Got this at Harbor Freight Tools for like 15 bucks. This thing's money. Anyhow, I was still getting a lot of smoke out of there, so I came up with this goofy little cardboard hood, for lack of a better term, and that thing fits right in there, and it sits over the top of the pot, and I kid you not, I barely get any smoke out of this thing, even when it's like at, up there towards second crack and it's really putting out a lot of smoke. This virtually evacuates all the smoke that the coffee's putting out there. And then I run out to the garage when it's hit just about the right temperature, and I got a little shaker tray. And so I guess the other tools, here's the transformer or the power supply, and then I've got this little plastic tray that I dump them in once the beans are cooled down, and I cut off a little jug here, and allows me to pour the beans in the bag. So yeah, that's the full Monty right there. So let me put this together, I'll have it running, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so I've got it running, you can tell. And I don't have heat on the pot because I just wanted to do this to demonstrate. But as you can tell, the way the bale is situated, it's pushing the beans away from the center. And again, I'm getting a more even roast. So that had everything to do with just the polarity on how I soldered the wires on the motor. So how the hood works is, again, I've got this little thing slipped in there, and it was just by sheer luck that fitting off my old shop vac fit in there. And then the hood just sits right over there. Yeah, it looks really kind of backyard, but it'll work. And when I need to check temperature, I just open it up like that, and it still evacuates all the smoke. And then this just fits in here like this when I have it turned on, and it just kind of sucks it in there, and it provides a nice, fairly airtight seal, so most of the suction goes through, the tube there. So anyhow, those are the updates, and happy roasting.